Hello and welcome to Gaming News Roundup for the 16th of August 2015, your weekly source for everything in the world of video games. This is slightly late news, but Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain got the opposite to a delay the other week, with its release date being pulled forward from the 15th of September to the 1st of September. This brings the PC port of the game up to the same date as the console counterpart, so they'll both release at the same time. The 1st of September is actually only 2 weeks away, so it might be time to start thinking about pulling out your wallet or organising a holiday away from work if you're a Metal Gear fan. GTA 5 sales have reached a new milestone with 54 million copies being sold to retailers. Whilst that's an impressive number, it's the number for the amount of copies sold to retailers, not necessarily through to consumers. So technically there aren't 54 million people out there that own a copy of GTA 5. The success of GTA 5 has been well documented nonetheless, with it achieving multiple world records including best-selling action-adventure game in 24 hours, best-selling video game in 24 hours, fastest entertainment property to gross $1 billion, fastest video game to gross $1 billion, and highest grossing game in 24 hours. So it's no real surprise that this game has sold this many copies at this point. Resident Evil 2 is to join the list of remakes to be announced this year. This is in response to the greatly received remake of the first Resident Evil HD, that released on PC and PS4 of January this year. The producer over at Capcom said, "You've been telling us for years that you wanted Resident Evil 2 to be remade, and we haven't been able to make it happen. Until now." There's no word on a release date or any other news so far, apart from that it might be a while before Capcom can update the public on the game, considering it's still in the early stages of development. EA representative Peter Moore said this week that people didn't even want a Star Wars Battlefront campaign according to statistics. This didn't exactly put EA on the best of terms this week, as quite evidently, people do want a Star Wars Battlefront campaign. I mean, who wouldn't? So it's thought that the statistics that DICE and EA used to come to this conclusion were pulled from the Battlefield franchise, in which case the statement stands true, for a Battlefield title. This has raised concerns among quite a few people who now believe that although DICE seem to be staying true to the original films, they may be straying too far into the realms of Battlefield rather than Battlefront. To brighten things up though, a new Battlefront game mode was also announced this week. The Supremacy game mode will be familiar to those who play the Conquest mode from Battlefield, although this iteration will have a few twists that make it sound both interesting and fun, but also rather concerning. Click the annotation on screen now, or the little eye in the corner, or follow the link in the description to the video in which I go over the game, this game mode and the Fighter Squadron game mode in a little more depth. Gotta keep that hype train rolling. Hardline will be getting its own spin on the Prestige system in the coming months. In order to become legendary, you'll need to be the maximum rank of 150, at which point you'll be given the option to completely wipe your multiplayer progression in return for the legendary status. This will enable you to start the progression again by ranking up, earning more cash and buying your weapons and attachments again. On top of the legendary title, you'll also get a permanent boost to the amount of cash you earn. The multiplier of this is at the time of writing unknown, but the idea is that reaching the max rank is easier the second time around. A few little blitz stories before I go. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt modding tools have just been released to the community to mess with. The showcase that CD Projekt Red used was the replacement of Roach's texture with that of a unicorn. This isn't the full red kit that we've been promised, that will come later, but it's a start. The tools are able to modify and create scripts and textures to add more functionality and prettiness to the game, so here's hoping that the modding heritage of The Witcher 3 will become something as of a competitor to that of Skyrim's. And finally, I want to follow up on something that I said last week, where I stated that some people were concerned about Fallout 4's playtime, as the majority of it might just be hunting for rolls of tape. Well, I just found this article over on PCGamer.com that has an interview with a developer in which he says that the deep crafting system is optional and can be completely avoided if you choose to do so. That might be music to some ears. And that's everything for this week. As always, all the links to all the articles will be in the description, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for everything in the world of video games. I've been MajorMeteor, and I'll catch you in the next one.